Welcome to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast, America's #1 podcast for new real estate investors, where we know that finding discounted properties is the most proven path to financial freedom. I am your host, Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, Mr. Talk to People, and I am telling you this: if I can do this, so can you. So let's get started. This podcast is going to absolutely blow your mind because, listen, we've all had some setbacks. We've all made some mistakes. We've all, tried and failed. And something inside of us just keeps us going, keeps us pushing, keeps feeding that fire that we have to be an entrepreneur, to be a real estate investor. But overcoming this challenge of the interview and the conversation that I'm going to have with this gentleman today is going to be absolutely just blow you away. It's going to blow you away because at 18 years old, he lost 2 years of freedom at such a critical age, lost 2 years of freedom, and he's going to break that all down. And now he is scratched his way up. He has worked hard. He has kept disciplined. He has been so extremely focused on the goals that he has, that he is now a successful real estate entrepreneur, a successful real estate wholesaler. It is my pleasure to introduce to the Rhino Tribe, to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast from Tyler, Texas, Jesse.
What's up?
Jesse,
what's up? I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
I'm
glad to be here.
I'm excited. I'm excited about this because, brother, your story is wild, to be honest. I mean, your story has so many different layers to it. So, tell us about it. Tell us about you. Tell us about how you grew up, where you're from, and we'll get to how you discovered wholesaling.
So I grew up kind of all over Texas. We're from Louisiana originally. My mom and dad got divorced when I was about 5. I have a little sister. My dad was in the Air Force, so got divorced. Kind of stayed with my dad most of the time. Our relationship was kind of rocky. He got remarried. My mom was a sweetheart. He kind of kept me from our mom. It was kind of a weird situation. Usually it's, the mom or I don't know. But he was never an alcoholic. He never drank he was a little different, So anyways, stayed with him until I was like about 14. And then finally got to live with my mom. Well, my dad's really disciplined. Okay. He's from the military. Get home from school, you do your homework, you don't go outside or nothing. So I grew up like that, so structured and no freedom really. My mom was totally different. I came to live with her in East Texas. And she's an awesome mom. I love her to death. She's a sweetheart. Can't say better things about her, but she gave me a lot of freedom, which at 15 years old, what are you going to do when you're 15? You got a cousin who's 2 years older than me. He can drive. And man, I just went kind of crazy, man. Like smoking. I tried to smoke cigarettes. I didn't like that, so that didn't really work out. But drinking and running the roads and stealing, that was like a big thing. We just, stupid stuff that kids do, like stealing all kinds of stuff. Around 17, I started a new school my senior year at a different school in East Texas, and actually had just wrecked my truck. And senior, not driving to school, that was hard. I was depressed. I definitely suffered with depression my whole life. But anyways, man, ended up stealing a truck when I was, I think I was 18 at the time. Yeah, I was 18. So I'm telling you right now, in the year 2000, from September to December, I got at least 4 different charges before I went to court for the stolen truck. So the judge was willing just to throw the book at me. And I had the worst judge in Longview, Texas, which is the East Texas area. That's where I grew up at. And got probation. In 4 months, I screwed that up. And I got sentenced to 2 years in state jail here in Henderson, which is East Texas. And I spent two solid years. I ran for a little bit, maybe 3 months, when I found out I was going to go to prison. And I turned myself in, man. I was like, man, I got to get my life together. I was 19. I got 2 years. I was a skinny little twerp. I was like, I'm going to go in and work out. I'm going to gain some muscle. I'm going to try to go to school. I'm in there, learn some stuff. And man, that's the most depressing place you can ever be. You know, it's the worst place you can be. I had nightmares for years afterwards. I don't anymore because I'm a lot older now. That was over 20 years ago. But the most depressing place, no air conditioner in Texas heat. People, there's not people like us there. I'm telling you right now out there, Brent, there's not normal people. These people were in there for drugs that come from from the streets. It was a hard life. I mean, it was hard, but I came out and just tried to get my life together, from there. So,
So what did you do? I mean, so you were in there, you're counting the days, you're getting out. I mean, how do you build up your mindset and start walking down the path to being a real estate entrepreneur? Now you're 20, 21.
Yeah. I was 21 and a half. I had I had my 21st birthday. I had 2 birthdays in there. Man, really, it's like, really, I'd relate it till now. Like us now trying to be real estate investors, cold calling. I mean, getting on the phone is hard. It's hard every day. I'm not consistent. I need to be more consistent with it. But the more you do it, it gets easier. But it's like that. It's the future, because you look and you're like, there's no way I can be where Brent is. There's no way. But he was at one spot. He was there once.
Yep.
It's like in a prison. It was like, I have 2 years. What am I going to do? Just think of the future. What is your future hold? Manifestation, thinking of getting out. I had a plan in mind already, ready to get out. Been working out. I'm going to get all the girls, of course, and I'm going to get my life together. I'm going to go back to college, So, it's just having that mindset of the future holds a lot, because I was young, I had my whole future to hold. I mean, I have everything in front of me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So now 20 years later, do you feel like you still have that? Do you still feel like your mindset is always future thinking? Are you more present now? Is it just, you just
always
trying to escape that? Like, what is that?
How does that affect you later? I mean, to me, it's kind of like a sickness. It's always the future. I try to tell myself, live now, live in the present. Stop thinking about the future. Excuse me. But yeah, I always think of like 2 years ahead, 4 years ahead, where I'm going to be, but I try to live in like the now. I feel like sometimes we get such in a hurry to be somewhere. And I listen to a lot of podcasts, and you guys have said it before, but you're such in a hurry to get to, I want to make $1 million a year, but you need to enjoy getting there, because you're going to look back. And I've done this with other things in life where I was in such a hurry to get somewhere. And then I look back and I'm like, man, that was so much fun. Not fun, but I struggled here. I learned this there. But then once you get there, you're kind of like, you missed all the, the fun, because you're so worried about where I'm going to be in the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
well, and I have grown up and listened to and continue to listen to and read a lot from a gentleman by the name of Earl Nightingale. And he always talks about that success is the progressive realization of a worthwhile goal. Basically meaning that if you're on the journey to accomplish something, you're successful. It's that time that you're spending, that you're focusing on that actual journey, the actual days that you were in the mix. That is success. Getting to the goal is fine, but then once you get there, there's other ones to get. It is truly the journey that you're on. I don't care if you're just driving for dollars for the first time, you're successful. If it's talking to your first seller, you're successful. If you're realizing this goal of being a real estate entrepreneur, you are successful. And once you start really believing that in your heart and in your head, I'm telling you, you feel so much more confident and certain that what you're doing is right, and you keep doing it. And that's what pushes you. That's what puts the wind behind your sails and really, helps you build that momentum up so that you can do something special with your life. And
you're speaking the truth, man. Totally the truth. Yeah. You have to know that you are a real estate investor. Don't have the imposter syndrome. I had that even after 2 deals. I still had the imposter syndrome. But the more consistent you are with this, the more times you talk to people, I don't care if it's a realtor, it's a seller, it's a contractor, it's your next door neighbor, it's someone at the grocery store, the more you speak, the better you're. I mean, I don't know if you know, but I grew up with a stuttering problem, really bad. Had speech therapy. I still stutter all the time. You can't tell that much now, but it's confidence that'll help you get through stuff. And I get on the phone still,
Yeah.
that first even like on now, I still kind of stutter, but if I'm confident and I know that I, I can buy this property. I know I can. At the end of the day, get hard money loan, whatever I have to do, I can purchase this. I can help this person out. You know, so it gives you confidence, but the more you do it, the more you're going to believe in yourself that you are. Just tell yourself that you are and just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Keep talking to people. Get your communication skills on point, just talking. And you don't have to be a perfect salesman. I think I get wrapped up in, Todd Toback says do this, or this person says do that. And like, but I just get on the phone, just talk to them.
Yep.
And I say all this, cash offer, what the best you can do, and then go from there, and just kind of just talk to people and be cordial and friendly and like you're their friend, like you're their next door neighbor, just like you say, just like your next door neighbor. Just be like, you're their friend. So
I love it. And what an inspiration, Jesse. I mean, for real, like I'm sitting here listening to you talk. I think you sound magnificent. Not only that, but you go from going to jail for 2 years at 18 years old to getting out of that and staying fixed on the future and doing everything that you can to be successful, to getting over a stuttering. And then you sign up for the number one thing to challenge that, which is TTP, which is literally picking up.
I don't know why I did TTP. I guess I like to do things that are hard. If you say I can't do it, it's like I want to do it. And plus, you're the very first podcast I heard. I'm going to tell you, I was mowing that day. I put in my headphones and I just found wholesaling. Because y'all are the number one podcast. I listened to your podcast. I remember to this day, it's a podcast about how to get your deal in 90 days. You told us all this stuff under $150, like True People Search. And the words that you said that motivated me was, if I can do it, so can you. And it just like, and put a fire inside me. Like, I got to listen and I got addicted. I listen to podcasts nonstop, every podcast you can think of on wholesaling or more real estate stuff too, just more in depth. But yeah, man, it's just. So
walk me through, Jesse, from 21 to now. Today's your 39th birthday. For the last 18 years, what does that look like? How did you find? I mean, obviously you found the podcast and that got going there, but there was a string that you pulled, a thread that you pulled to follow that along and find that podcast. What made you think about real estate?
Man, okay, so my 20s was mostly the service industry, bartending, waiter, and bartending was hard too with a stutter problem. But it's like I wanted. If you tell me I can't do it, or I feel like I can't do it, I want to do it more. So did that for all my 20s and traveled a little bit. Didn't really get anywhere. Took community college a little bit. Got my nursing license. I'm a nurse for about 3 years now, and I got that when I was about 30-something, 34. But I went last year. I went to Brooklyn for a COVID assignment for nursing. Came back with some money, of course, they're paying us well. And I had some money in the bank already, not a whole lot, like 10 grand. I came back with quite a bit of money, and I was like, I need to invest this. And I was already fixing my house. If you see my house now, it's a house built in 93. I bought it in 2016, and I've been renovating ever since. I'm about 95% of the way done. I've done showers, gutted them, did walk-in showers, tiling, gutted my kitchen. I've done a whole new kitchen, marble countertops. I've done it all. So I've always loved real estate. My mom was into homes, older homes. We used to drive around the old neighborhoods looking at old homes. I just got this. It's kind of like what Jamil talks about. He loves houses. Like I love older homes. I just love the potential. I look at a house, I'm like, that house could be so beautiful. Just need a little bit of work. So I came home. I Googled, how do I get into real estate? I mean, I watched HGTV. I'm like, how do they buy these houses on the market? And how do they get money to fix them up? And I'm just like, looking, I came across Jerry Norton, of course. Everybody comes across him. He's great. So much information. Got addicted to watching his stuff. I don't know how I found, a wholesaling, but I did somehow. And when I found out what wholesaling was, which when I was a kid, if you remember watching infomercials late night, there was those infomercials about make money selling. And I didn't know what that was. And it's kind of in the underground kind of over here somewhere, but it's a huge, huge community, like, I found wholesaling. I got addicted to it, and I just started researching. I had analysis paralysis. Found out last July. I didn't jump on board until December of last year, and even then, I joined your program. I didn't make my first phone call until February. I pulled my first list January 1st. I didn't call it until February because I make excuses, man. I'm telling you right now, if you're a family man, I don't know if you do it or if anybody else has done it, you make excuses with your family. Oh, my son's awake. He's a 2-year-old. I want to spend time with him. Oh, I got to mow the lawn. Oh, I got to fix the kitchen. I was renovating my kitchen at the time. You have to find the time. You have to just zone the time out. And I have a set time from noon to 4 that I cold call. I follow it? I didn't call today, but I'm calling my leads back.
It's your birthday.
Oh yeah, I know. But I told my wife, what do you want to do today? I'm like, I want to make phone calls. Do you want to make phone calls? Like, I just want to talk to. Like, I enjoy doing it. I just I want to work on my business. Like that's fun for me. Like, I don't want to do anything else. I just want to. I want to talk to people, and I want to source some real estate and get some deals. Getting a deal. Oh, guys, whenever you get your first, they say yes. You get this rush. It's like, I've never done a heroin before, but it's got to be like doing a shot of heroin, because I just felt a rush. That deal I got last week, I felt a rush, man. It's the best feeling in the whole world. It's the best business ever. I'm so blessed that God showed it to me, and I have the capability and the finances it's just awesome, dude. It's awesome.
It is. And you know what? You're so right on. You need to time block. There has to be sacred time in your schedule where you set aside where you are going to hunt for opportunities. And if you're feeling guilty about it or whatever else, it's not really that, I don't think, as a dad, as a husband, as a son, as a brother. It's more the creative avoidance that we prefer to hang out with our kids. And I kind of flipped it a couple years ago, Jesse. It's really interesting. I flipped it and I was like, you know what? My young guy is very similar to me. I have a special needs older son, but my younger son is very active, very, very good communicator, speaks really well. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to let him watch me do what I do. Right?
Oh, okay.
And ever since that, it's really interesting. It's almost something like we share. It's almost something like he knows to listen and be quiet and just kind of be there. Not always. He's 4, so he's still a wild man.
4. Oh, wow. That's cool.
I thought it was really interesting to show that part of it, because you know what? When you're showing your kids that you are able to provide value to your community, they want a piece of that. They see that it's a good example
100.
Of what it is to be an entrepreneur, to be a professional, to go out there and show them how you communicate, the tone of voice that you use, the way that you, the pausing that you do, the active listening that you do on the phone, all those things. So I would encourage anybody listening and watching, and you, Jesse, as well, open it up. I mean, 2's a little, they're still toddling around at that point, but
he's been screaming.
It'd be interesting to have you there, have them there by your side.
Yeah. Oh man. And to have fathers like us that they're going to know about entrepreneurship. My dad didn't teach me that stuff. Right. Man, I wish my children are going to be multi-millionaire. I'm telling you right now, like, I'm going to instill this into their heads. Unless they just really I want to be a doctor because I want to be a doctor. But I mean, you know what I mean? They're going to know there's other options. They don't have to go to college. A college, I'm there with Cardone. I think college is kind of a scam. I mean, but if people want to go to college to be something because they really enjoy it, more power to them. But a lot of kids just think I have to go to college because that's what you're supposed to do after school. And they get in debt. And they get a job after college that's not that great. They're paying all this debt back. They're not happy. They're depressed. They gain weight. They're unhealthy. So this business is amazing. But
I think the same thing, Jesse. I look at my children, especially my youngest, and I think that what I'm doing from a professional standpoint and from a financial standpoint is just laying a foundation. And I'm excited to see what they do on top of that foundation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is really exciting. So let's do this. Let's break down a deal. Everybody loves this part of the
Oh,
podcast
yeah.
where we break down a deal. I want to break down your bigger deal. You've closed
Yeah.
2 since you
Yeah.
started calling
Yeah.
4 months ago, a little less than 4 months ago,
Yeah.
a little bit under 100 days ago, really.
Uh-huh.
You put together 2 deals. And this one is something that I love because everybody listening and watching can do what Jesse's going to tell you he did. Like in the next 5 minutes after listening and watching this podcast, you can do this. You can take action on this and see what happens in your life. So go ahead, Jesse. Why don't we talk about this bigger deal that you got?
Bigger deal. Yeah. So this deal was a deal. It was a deal out of Longview, Texas, which is a town about an hour from me. It's the next bigger town over here in this area. You have to market. I market to all the counties. There's just not a lot of people here. So anyway, so this was a referral. So the ROI was just insane. Like it didn't cost me nothing to get this deal. And it was a huge deal. But yeah.
How did you get the referral?
Okay. The referral was from posting on Facebook.
Okay.
So I don't have Instagram. I meant to get all this stuff set up, Instagram, YouTube, so I could tell everybody where to find me. But I'm an older man. I mean, all I have is Facebook. So, but I've been Facebook for a long time. So I basically just I've got a website. I've got my name, Restored Home Buyers. I've got a website, a cheap website, $20 a month. I put on my cover page, I put my business name, my phone number. I buy houses. I post stuff randomly. I usually just do stories, but I'll put, we buy houses, actively buying house. I don't do a whole lot. I don't want people to be over, I don't know, I probably should do more, but I do maybe once a week, 2 times a week, just on my stories. And I've done a couple of times. When I first started, I put stuff as actual, post, like I'm getting into real estate because I heard you guys, you need to talk about it, put yourself out, let people know you're doing real estate, you're buying houses. A girl messaged me on Messenger, a girl that I knew from high school, haven't talked to her in years. And she said, do you buy houses or do you work for somebody? No, this is my business. I do buy houses. Well, it was a perfect situation. It was actually her mother-in-law who was in hospice at the time. So the house had been vacant for a year. They didn't want to, this was her words exactly. I don't want to mess with a realtor. Perfect. So I was like, yes, I can buy your house. Let me look at, do you have any, I didn't want any pictures. I said, what's the address? I look it up. It's in a perfect location. I was like, I can sell this house quick. I ain't even got to look at it. But I didn't go in and looking at it, I think, before I made her offer, because I think I was in a town already to see a friend. So I drove by there. The daughter actually was there as well with the sister-in-law. And I looked at the house. It was pretty bad. I mean, it was an older house, been there. They've owned it, 1961 house, a small house, 1,300 square feet, 3-2 brick home. It needed a new roof. It needed a lot of work. It needed a full gut job.
Okay.
So anyway, look at it. I get home. I'm like, this is a deal, man. This is a deal. I can get.
Did they give you a price when you met them?
No, they didn't. That's the thing too. That is the key every time, guys. You have to try to get the price out of them. And I've found it pretty easy to get the price. Or people that are motivated, they usually will tell you what they want for it. And if they don't, you can work them into it. So this one, I talked with the daughter when I got home. I said, hey, what do you think that you would want for the property? Well, we don't really know what it's worth. I don't really know. Like, what would you feel the best? That's what I usually say. I say, what could you walk away with and you'd feel great about the deal or the situation? Hey, you feel like you got something out of it. I got something out of it, and we're all happy. What's a number there that feels great for you? And she still didn't know. Let me talk with my brother, but she did have her brother to talk about the deal with because it was her mom. And I called them. They said, oh, I think we know how much we want for it. I'm like, okay. I called them back on a 2-line. I talked to both of them at the same time, triple line, however you want to say it. And they wanted 60,000. Yeah, 60. I was like, dude, that's a deal. But I said, I kind of broke it down. I've heard one podcast where there's an old school wholesaler, a real estate guy, said he breaks down the deal, like tells them how much it would sell for and how much renovation and closing and all this stuff. Next time, I'm not sure if I do that because it kind of is a lot of stuff, but they were writing stuff down. They said, we're writing stuff down. So I broke it down and said, well, I'm kind of at 50. What do you think about that? And they're both like, they're said, okay, that sounds good. I'm like, what? I was like, oh my
gosh. They probably threw out 60, assuming that you would throw out something lower.
Exactly.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They wanted to kind of set their bar at a certain level. They probably didn't expect 60. That would be great, but they probably never thought that they could. You threw out 50 and they're like, yep, perfect.
They were so motivated, man. They were ready to get rid of it and they didn't want to mess with realtors. And so, the deal was kind of hairy, not too much. It was just what happened was the mother, the owner was a hospice. The daughter had POA. Talked with the title company. They said they could do it. But 2 days later, the mom passes away. So that was really hard. The daughter was having a hard time. I'm so grateful for the sister-in-law. She was my direct communication. She handled a lot of paperwork, for me, for the whole situation, and got the deal done. It was a lot of different, heirship of affidavits, stuff like that. But guys, don't let that scare you. The title company tells you what to get. You don't have to be the expert. Just they'll tell you what you need. They have their own attorneys. Like, just get under contract, get it over there. They'll tell you what they need. And it closed right on time. I found a buyer. Actually, the buyer was a friend that I didn't know was a real estate investor. I found out after I talked with a realtor, and she showed up. She's like, Jesse, you're selling, you're wholesaling? I'm like, yeah. I was like, you're rehabbing? She goes, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I wouldn't recommend it selling to a friend because I gave and take a little bit. I took a little bit off it because of certain stuff, but I still made a lot of money on it. So I was happy, and I sold it quick. So within a week, I think.
So you bought it for $50,000. What'd you sell it for?
$71,500.
And what'd you net?
$21,500. Man, that's Bill. There it is. Man, I didn't think I'd ever hear that.
I love it. I love it. The victory bell sounds so sweet. I mean, I'll tell you what a story. I mean, and you're just getting going, brother. I mean, you've been in this like 100 days of actual going through, and you're still right now you're going, oh, I should be making calls on my birthday. Oh, I should be more consistent instead of playing with my kids. All of those things, I'm telling you, those are signs of you really taking this seriously and really have that hunger to go out there and provide, that servant heart to the distressed property owners in the marketplace.
Absolutely.
And just like these, listen, people that are just, maybe you're just listening or watching this for the first time, people will sell their property at a discount. People want to avoid real estate agents. They want to avoid the traffic going in and out of their house. They want to avoid cleaning it up. They want to avoid fixing it up. They want to avoid the embarrassment that they feel with the property, whether it be theirs or something they inherited and the condition of it. So they just want to sell it fast for cash. They will trade potential equity in the property for speed and convenience. It happens every minute of every hour of every day. And just like Paul Peru said way back when he was part of Robert Kiyosaki's real estate advisors, the deal of a lifetime comes around about once a week.
It's totally true. It's true, man.
Absolute truth. And the more people you talk to, the more likely you're going to get the opportunity to put something special together. So if you're out there, have the courage, use this story that Jesse is unfolding in our ears and in our eyes right now, and use that as inspiration that says, you know what? That is incredible. I think I can do this. I think I can have the courage to be able to go out there and serve my community just like Jesse's doing. And that's what it is. Jesse, you didn't come from a wealthy family. You didn't come from a real estate background. You didn't have everything go real smooth for you in the last, 20 years, but you've built this up and you have that brain just like I do, just like everybody that's watching and listening to this. We all have that brain that says, you know what? I don't want to be average. I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I don't want to be stuck in the rat race. How do I get out? And when you start asking that, that's when you do it.
Exactly.
Make it happen. So absolutely incredible, Jesse. How do people get a hold of you if they're in?
Definitely.
Say hello.
Yeah, definitely. Facebook, message me, friend me. I'll accept your friend request. DM me on there. I don't have anything else right now. I'm about to start a YouTube channel. I'm going to call it Small Talent Investor, just to help people understand that small market, man, you can still do it. Actually, I like doing it better. I mean, I don't know anything different, but it's more challenging sometimes, but there's a lot of opportunity, lots of opportunity. It's your backyard. Start in your backyard, guys. Really, you can drive to the properties. I can talk to people. They know I'm from East Texas from the way I talk, of course. And I can just, I can meet up with them. I can drive by the property. Just to pick up the phone, follow direction. And you have to need it, not want it. Like you always say, Brent, it has to be a need. It can't be, I feel like doing it. And I think the problem I have now is I don't need it as much financially, but man, I want it so bad. I just want this for my family, for my children's future. I want to be rich. I mean, just like Sean Terry always said on his Flip to Freedom, he just want to be rich. You just have to want it, man. Just or need it. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you
for jumping on here and sharing your story with everybody. What an inspiration. And remember, guys, TTP is not just a cold calling thing, right? Talking to people is being loud. It's being out there. It's posting to Facebook. It's getting referrals. It's talking to your neighbors. It's building a network of people that trust you and like you and want to be around you and send you business and support you. That's what talking to people is all about. That's the essence. That's the essence of the philosophy behind TTP, is just being loud, going out there and seeing if you can help people out. So if you are interested in joining the most proactive group in real estate investing, like Jesse here, go to wholesalinginc.com/TTP. wholesalinginc.com/TTP. Check out what the TTP family is all about. See what the TTP program is all about. Scroll down, see all of the testimonials, all the success. It's going to take you a lot of scrolls because we just have the most. It's incredible because we have the most proactive people in the real estate industry, just like Jesse. So if you're interested in that, sign up for a strategy call. We'd love to speak with you. And that's it. Jesse, thank you so much.
No, thank you. No, thank you so much.
Out there in the Rhino tribe, I truly love you, and I want to encourage you to talk to people. Until next time, see you guys.
Bye.